Hello, welcome back to the desk corner and happy late Valentine's Day. I wanted to do a video on theme this year, so I decided wouldn't it be fun to create an artwork using only pink supplies. Now I like these one color or like limited supply challenges that people do, and I want to do more art challenges in general in 2023, so why not start off at the beginning of the year, or at least somewhat toward the beginning of the year. Also, I really wanted a use for these Sharpies. If you guys saw my desk organizing video, you saw that I have a pretty ridiculous collection of Sharpies, and these are my pink ones. I decided to make this cute little card for you guys for Valentine's Day. Alright, obviously I'm not on theme here wearing my black. My only pink sweater is in the wash, so that's why I'm not in the introduction. That being said, let's go ahead and figure out what we're going to do for this pink art, which I have not really put much planning into. I've got these Stabilo Fineliners. I don't know if they might come in handy. I'll just pull those ones out just in case I want to line anything. Now what about my Holbeins? They happen to be pastel colors, so I do have a couple of pinks in here. And what are we counting as pink? I guess I would take out these two. How about these Polychromos? You can never go wrong with Polychromos. They look a little off, but some of them have the name pink still. So Dark Flesh, they renamed that one. I don't know what the new name is for that. We've got Carmine, Light Purple Pink, technically pink, Pink Matter. We also have, what's that one? Fuschia, Middle Purple Pink. So there's purple in there, but there's also pink. And Pink Carmine, so we've got a little bit of a range. That was a good idea for me to pull those ones out, because I could use some variety to choose from. I've also got this blush pink color soft. Might as well throw that one in there too. Derwent Inktense. Do I want anything from that? Actually, I think that might be not the best idea. Well, actually, I don't know. It depends on what paper I'm going to use. Maybe not. Maybe no Inktense for this. Might as well add some of my Pablos in there. I mean, probably similar colors to the Polychromos, but a range is never a bad thing. Or just a whole lot of pencils. Maybe I should throw in an Inktense pencil in there as well. We should probably mix things up a little bit, and I could use some alcohol markers perhaps. I think I'm just gonna pick a couple from here because I'd want these to blend, and I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Look, you never know when you might need an acrylic paint marker. This white would just be to lighten it. So I wasn't really sure that I wanted to bring watercolor into this. However, I do have these metallic watercolors, and I thought, well, I don't want to give away my idea quite yet, but you'll see once I show you guys what it is that I'm drawing. I thought that this might be something that would come in handy too. And just when maybe you thought that I haven't gone crazy, I actually have. I think it would be handy to have some pink Albrecht Durer watercolor pencils. It's funny how the line between pink and red is so very thin since pink is made of red, but I'm just going to count these ones anyways. This one is a little bit more on the border. This is Permanent Carmine, and then we have Middle Purple Pink, we have Rose Carmine. Some of these are obviously matched up to the Polychromos pencils because I have a smaller set of these than I do Polychromos. We have Medium Flesh, and then Pink Matter Lake. So I'm iffy about Permanent Carmine, but it will be nice to have these as options as we work on our artwork. And due to the supplies of choice here, I think it would be best if we worked on watercolor paper today. But hot pressed watercolor paper would work better with some of these. So let's pull out a sheet of that, and then let's go ahead and get started. I'm running out of watercolor paper, hot pressed watercolor paper. I think I might have to buy more. I don't really use that when I use watercolors, but I think they have other uses, and I used them up with my Christmas card series. I believe that was 2021, maybe 2020, but I thought it was 2021. But anyways, I'm running out of my hot pressed Arches watercolor, so I might have to buy some of that. And I do have an idea of what we're going to do. Yes, I know, so original, a rose for Valentine's Day. A hand holding a rose, actually, so there's that. Since I decided to include a hand and a rose in this artwork, I decided to just transfer the outline over from my iPad because honestly, you guys, I did not want to spend time freehanding a hand and a rose, two things that I find difficult to draw as it is. and we didn't really have the time for that today, unfortunately. I know that I gave myself a goal at the beginning of the year to freehand a lot more in 2023, but this artwork is going to have to be an exception to that. So you could see even just me going in and fixing it all up took a while. And now it kind of just looks like I erased the whole thing, but that's not what I did. I just lightened the sketch. Now I'm going in and starting to work on the rose. I decided to use watercolor pencils. Since I'm using a watercolor paper that's friendly for, you know, the different media that I am using in this piece, I figured why not incorporate those watercolor pencils for the rose. And let me tell you guys, we were off to a good start. We really were. These were the Albrecht Durer pencils, by the way. So that was nice. It came out looking a bit red. But after that is when things started to go haywire, because I wanted to be adventurous and I used my alcohol markers without swatching them, not realizing just how berry pink that actually was. And I was expecting it to not be quite so pink. I think I thought it would be a little bit deeper actually. So that was the first thing that went wrong here. Then I decided let's use the Albrecht Durers to fill in the leaves because we have to make them a different color from the rose. And these were very purplish pink fuchsia. I think that they looked cute. However, do they match with the rose? Not really. That's okay. We're just being a bit adventurous here. I decided it might help if I outlined the rose with one of my fine liners because the outline kind of, you know, brought it into the same, it was a cool toned fine liner, and I thought maybe that would bring it in with the cool toned rose petals, but I'm not really sure if it worked out very well. While I was having a lot of fun creating these leaves and painting them in, I had a feeling at this point that the artwork was starting to go downhill a bit. We didn't have a lot of contrast going on here because I really only had the pink colors to work with. I did use my Derwent Inktense Fuschia for the leaves on the right hand side because those ones were meant to be deeper shadows. Well, they had more contrast in general, and I wanted to see how they would look against the Albrecht Durers on the left hand side, the actual watercolor pencils, and you can kind of tell once I fill these in and activate them with the water that they are a bit more intense despite being the same color pretty much as the leaves on the left hand side. So you could see the difference between a watercolor pencil on the left side and Inktense on the right. So that was an unexpected comparison. There I am going in with a regular colored pencil now in an attempt to kind of fix up the rose a bit, make it look a little bit more cohesive with the rest of the piece, but that didn't really turn out very well. And at this point, I think maybe it would have looked better if I had just used the same color for the leaves as I did for the rose, or a similar color, because it just went badly. Acrylic paint markers fix everything, right? So I'm just going to go over the whole thing with those, try to add some highlights, and hopefully bring out some highlights and contrast in this very dull monochrome piece. But wait, you guys, you thought that it was going downhill at that point? Oh, you were wrong. This, my friends, is where things went downhill with this hand. I knew the hand had the potential to ruin the artwork because hands are just difficult as it is, but bring in alcohol markers, just bring those into the story, and now you could see that it's pretty easy to mess something like this up, especially because at some point I lost where the shadows and the highlights were at one part of the palm and decided to just fill the whole thing in. Like, what? Why? And this part was rather peach, which doesn't look so good against those purple tones in the leaves either. Oh my goodness. At least it matches with the rose though. In an attempt to fix it that just kind of made it worse, I went in with a colored pencil, then just decided to cover that up with the acrylic paint marker, took a picture of the horrendous nature of it, decided to paint the nails with metallic watercolor, but that didn't really stand out very well. Maybe just because it's on white paper, not really sure. I outlined the whole thing with a fine liner because that's supposed to fix things, right? And then the acrylic paint marker is supposed to save the day again. Did it save the day? I don't know. So you guys, if you want to make fun of this artwork in the comment section, I honestly will not even be offended because at this point, I am right there with you. Wow, you guys, there it is. I am honestly looking at it right now thinking about how much of a mess it is, but at the same time, how much I can't stop looking at it. So maybe that's a good thing. Probably the most messy part is this part of the hand here. I'm not really sure what happened with the shadows. Things just went pretty wrong with the hand in this artwork. But even just looking at the colors, oh my goodness. I didn't use a lot of bright pink in this. I used a lot of more purplish and reddish pink, but I'm still counting that as pink. And I think that maybe it would have turned out a little bit better if I focused more on softer pinks for the artwork. But you know what? We're just gonna leave it like this because if I mess with it anymore, I'm afraid of what might happen here. What do you guys think of this artwork? How do you think it turned out? And how do you think this challenge went for me? I think it was very much a challenge as it was intended to be. As I'm describing it all, I'm regretting some of the decisions that I made here. And I even think this might benefit from a bit more brighter white highlights. So maybe we'll go ahead and add some even brighter white highlights if we can with a gel pen. And yeah, but that's about all for today's video, you guys. Let me know what you thought. Would you like me to do more color challenges or challenges like this in general in the future, where I use a specific color, supply, media, things like that, and challenge myself to create an artwork? Let me know what you guys think. I had a lot of fun with this, and it's very Valentine's themed and great for February. So I will see you guys in the next video as always, and I'm excited in particular to hear what you think of today's video because this one was a bit outlandish. Thanks for watching as always, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! I know I already said goodbye, but let's take a look at the outtakes here, and you could see that I'm trying to brighten up some of my highlights and define some things with that white gel pen. I think it made it look a little bit better. I'm not sure it really made it look that much better. But yeah, what do you guys think? That's our conclusion to our Pink Valentine's Day Challenge fail.